Welcome 127. My name is Jolly. I'm an abstract artist blending Indian and American influences together. I practice in the DFW area. I've been doing this all my life, but taking it up professionally in the past 2 years. As a kid growing up in India, I had various family members that were in the artistic field, you can say. I used to have challenges with my cousins on who could draw better. I used to have an uncle that just essentially created a lot of art pieces, or there might be like paper mache, just drawings and things as such. So with those influences and environments around me, I was able to flourish in my artistic style. I was just told to use it as a hobby, but as I grew older, it was something that my heart drew to and my soul kind of drew to, just because I didn't have an outlet to let my creativity out. There have been years where I have let go of that practice of not using my hands to create art, but those were probably the most depressing times of my years. Every single time that I do create, it's just unlocked something in me. It has allowed me to get to know myself better in a way, to really know who I am. So that's just always been a fun process. So every single time I create a piece, or every single time that I reflect back on pieces, it's just nice to see how that has progressed over the years. From my art, I would like other people to kind of reflect on their own journey. I would like other people to essentially find identity and connection to it as well. But the main biggest thing is going to be reflect on your own personal journey. In my previous series, What's Your Code, I have put together a series where essentially I reflected back on my own codes, whether it might be environments, people's situations, stories, whatever it was. I reflected on my whole life, but those little moments created my codes within me, and that's what I hope for anybody else that reflects and looks at my art, is essentially just look at yourself and redefine what makes you you, and what makes me me. And at the end of the day, that's just what we are here to do, right, as human beings on this earth. Indian culture has obviously a huge influence in my art. It's just been something that's embedded in my blood, in my soul. So the designs that I do come from a very ancient practice. It's called mehendi. We usually do it on our hands for big festivals or special engagements. However, I always found them fascinating just because of the intricacies that are in those designs. Some people put secret messages on their hands. Some people just do like some religious symbols on their hands to represent who they are. So that is something that I've always been fascinated as a kid. And I've always tried to find a way to embed my Indian culture into anything that I do. So even if it was like art class at school, I would embed those types of designs some way, somehow, to kind of let my voice be heard in a way. So those intricacies mean a lot to me, just because I feel like those little designs tell a lot of stories, one, and also what type of person you are, if you do find those intricacies fascinating or intriguing, because I just think little details are everything. That's why I just love going super in depth when it comes to my work. Obviously, coming from an Indian family, artist was not in their field of careers. It was either to be a doctor or an engineer, and that's all you had. So if you're telling them, hey, I don't want to be a doctor or engineer, they're essentially going to be like, okay, so you just want to be broke for the rest of your life. So that's just what I had to deal with. Various family members throughout my life. That's an uphill battle that I had to face for sure. But after many conversations and after many understandings and just proving myself to my art and my work, I proved it to my family that I am made for this, essentially. My style is monochrome. I usually do black and white, and my style is to embed both of my cultures within my pieces. So whenever I use geometric shapes, lines, and circles, whatever it might be, that comes from my American side. And whenever I use my mehendi designs and the intricacies and what goes into that, and all my intricacies and my curves and my little dots and the little details come from my Indian side. To show both of those cultures, I basically blend those two together, which create my black and white pieces. This is the piece that I created so far. I have 3 circles on here. representing body, mind, and spirit. And the lines represent everything connecting together. And the white ink represents essentially what's inside your soul, meaning the light that shines through. To create more depth and flowability to my pieces, I like to add cutouts. So here I cut out half of the circle, essentially pulling you in to want more and reflect and what that missing piece is. And if you want to see the finished piece, just come over and check it out on my page. I think art is a conversation. I think it evokes a lot of emotions and personal storytelling, and it's a really good way to see other people in a new light. So that's basically what I wish for any viewers or artists within themselves, is to just, one, create art, and two, to just look at art so you can view the world in a different way. If you guys want to see more of me and the events and the art that I do, please follow me on Instagram at Jollygood Studios, and go check out my art at jollygoodstudios.com. And if you love seeing creatives behind the scenes and in their element, go subscribe to the channel. Bye.